Sure that everything is looking good on my end. I'll let some people funnel in here before I start talking a bunch. I'm very excited about tonight's live stream. I have a lot of things to talk about, so get these in order before I start talking. Let's see, it looks like... Hello, Brian. How's it going? It's a very rainy afternoon here in Ohio. I don't know where everybody else is jumping in from, but today is it's like the perfect sleeping weather here. So I'm very excited to do tonight's live stream. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've done one of these, and I'll talk about that more when some more people jump on. But yeah, I'm just excited to get back to this and just to talk with some of you guys. It genuinely is like one of my favorite parts about having this channel is just this whole thing and just talking with a bunch of people. So I know I promised Hazel would be in the live streams, and she just walked in. Come here, Hazel. Come here. So here's Hazel. If you watch my, I'm doing good. How are you? If you watch my Instagram, if you watch my my Instagram stories, you will see updates, I guess, about live streams. And I posted about that Hazel will be joining the live stream, probably only for part of it because she's not going to want to stay like this for very long. So say hi. Oh, and she's done. So, but yeah, I'm excited about tonight's live stream. I have a ton to talk about, actually. Actually, I have this whole stack of movies to go over of what I watched. Happy to have the live streams back. Yes, and I guess I'll touch on that now. This last month of October, it was just absolutely like crazy. It just seemed like every Sunday I just had something going on in the afternoons, and I'm like, I tried doing one Friday live stream or Friday night live stream, and it just I don't know, it just seemed like every other time that I was going to maybe do one, it just like the weekend was already booked up. And so finally this weekend though, I had a small Halloween party last night, and I just got back from the theater. Actually, I was really hoping I would make it in time for the live stream, and I did, thankfully. But I just posted actually just on Instagram. I went to go see a showing of Pandora's Box, which was a 1929 silent film. But it had like a live or not an orchestra, but a live organ playing along like the score with the film, and so it was a lot of fun. But thankfully tonight is like one of my first free Sunday evenings all month, which is fun, but also is kind of just a very busy month. And I mean, being in the wedding photography industry, it's just October and November are just like the busiest possible months for weddings and stuff. So, um, yeah, it was a who was the actress? Geesh. See, wait. Wow, I remember that movie. Who was the actress? What was her name now? It was the character's name was Lulu in the film, but what was her name? Because before the film, the manager of the theater kind of like got up and kind of did like a little spiel about the movie, and he talked about her and just a little bit of her backstory, but I forget the name. It's going to drive me crazy. Um, but yeah, so but being in the wedding industry, the weekends for the month of October and November are just absolutely like crazy usually, because everybody wants to get married in the fall. And so yeah, but that being my full-time job, like it just scheduling wise is just insane. So hopefully I'm back. I mean, I'm going to be back tonight, but hopefully next week as well. I'm going to have to check the calendar and make sure I don't have anything else going on. But thank you guys so much for coming back. I know not being consistent with some of this stuff. I know sometimes people can lose interest, but I do appreciate everybody taking the time um, to come back. But let's see, it was Lewis Brooks Izzy says. Okay, so that's the actress. That's who plays Lulu in Pandora's Box. It was quite long, yeah. How did you like it? I'll try to remember her name. Um, I think it was Lulu. Okay. Um, yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was a very interesting film. It was like about 2 hours long. And there was like a little bit of an intermission, so I'm not sure exactly how long it was, but because they did like a little intro thing and then like a little intermission, so I kind of lost track of what the time was. And unfortunately, I don't have a copy of the film in the Criterion Collection. I don't have that one yet. I do have one in my Janus Films box set, but that is on the other side of the room. So I forget. I feel like it was about 2 hours long, if I'm not mistaken. But I really liked it. It was a very interesting movie. I feel like it was like um, kind of scandalous for the year of 1929. I feel like it was just kind of like, I mean, I know that's kind of what made it like popular now, is just kind of its like themes of, um, its themes throughout the film. And so it was definitely I liked it, and it was a very interesting film. And I do want to revisit it in not a theater context, because at some point, I mean, I would say arguably I was like, it was on a college campus, but I was probably the like within the 1% of the youngest people at the showing. Most of the people were older, and at some point someone's cell phone went off and someone's alarm went off, and somebody was walking down the aisle with their flashlight trying to find their seat, and so a lot of distractions were happening throughout the film. But so I kind of want to rewatch it, like sitting down by myself and just kind of sit down to enjoy it. But overall, I could say I really did enjoy it, and yeah, I'd love to revisit it soon. But um, what do you do in the wedding industry? I used to be a videographer. Yes, I do photography and videography. So that's kind of both of my things. So um, good evening, Kyle, and everyone just joined in. Hello, Sue. Welcome to the live stream. Um, but yeah, I do photography and videography for weddings, and so um, it's a lot. It's a like an all day affair, but um, I love it. I really enjoy connecting with the couples and stuff whenever I do that. So um, I'm just going to jump in to this whole stack of movies. I watched quite a bit of stuff since my last live stream. I've been trying to. I was kind of saving, putting all these movies back on the shelf. I was kind of saving that until the live stream, so I can actually do a very very quick, like rundown of what I watched and kind of what I thought about it. Um, I don't want to get into too much detail because this is a very large stack, and so it's been driving me crazy because this has just been sitting on my entertainment stand, and I just haven't had a chance to talk about it yet. So um, this goes all the way back to not last Saturday, the Saturday before last, I believe. So this would have been Saturday. Let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is like 15 days ago. Um, I should have had a calendar or something down here to like tell exact date, but I'm just going to run through these. I'm not sure exactly what the date that I watched these on or not, but yeah, some of these I did have to technically like I will say that I had to shift a few movies around a little bit. Meaning that like on a day that I didn't necessarily have anything going on, I might have doubled up a movie, knowing that the following day I was going to be like completely booked. So that way, technically, I was watching 31 movies this month, but sometimes I kind of like, you know, moved that 31 like one movie a night number around a little bit. So I might have cheated a little bit in there, but still watching a bunch of horror films throughout the month. But so I'm going to start from like I believe it was 2 Saturdays ago, from whenever my last live stream was. I think it was a Friday night live stream or whatever, and so this would have been that following day. But I watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, and this was the second or third time I watched this film. I love this movie. I completely forgot how amazing that remake is. It obviously does not even stand up close to the original, but I feel like it provides an interesting remake. I feel like it goes in a different direction, and it kind of gives a like more of a like a grittier feeling. Like maybe not gritty, maybe that's not the right word, but I really liked it. It's like it's more stylized, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I really enjoyed it. Um, so then the next one I watched the following day. Um, this was a film that I know Vinegar Syndrome released a Blu-ray of this, and so I was always curious, but that was the film Scared to Death. This was pretty rough. It was a rough watch. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty cheesy. The main actor in it was just so annoying. I could not, um, I just like could not like get behind him. He just seemed so annoying, and there was a few sequences of people just walking for long periods of time. I mean, the movie itself was only where is it? Um, let's say 100 minutes long, but it felt like a couple hours because people just were walking down long hallways for long periods of time with nothing happening, and um, I don't know. It was cheesy, but I understand why it's in the Vinegar Syndrome catalog. It feels more like down their line. It does like I think this was a sequel to Sinjanor Sinjanor. I think that's how you say it. I don't know how you say that. Which I don't know this word right here. Um, but the I think it's a sequel to that. So I thought it was cheesy, but yeah. But then I watched a fantastic film by Peter Jackson, and that is the film The Frighteners. I loved this film. I thought this was so well done. It was so fun. I'm kind of like I'm mad that I didn't watch it sooner in life. I feel like it's one of those that if you kind of like grew up watching, it would be like a great movie to like pop in every Halloween or something. And I really enjoyed it. I feel like it was just like a lot of fun and pretty creative. So, um, yeah, and there was also like a little snippet at the front of the film, like the beginning of the film, where Peter Jackson kind of talks about that. You know, they bought all these computers to do all these VFX and stuff, and I like or what was it? He was like saying how like they bought all these computers to do this, and then he didn't know what to do with all the computers, so then he was trying to think of a way to utilize them, and so then he eventually made Lord of the Rings with those computers. So without this film, we probably wouldn't have Lord of the Rings. Did you watch the uncut version? A huge amount of cutouts, completely different film from the cut version. Yes, yes, I watched the unrated or the uncut because I remember it gave me the option. Um, the director's cut. But yeah, I liked it. It was pretty good. And somebody else said something. Two movies with RL already. Haha. Okay. Yeah. So the the next one that I watched. So every Halloween I've been watching like for my 31 nights of Halloween or whatever. I've been watching like a Leprechaun movie, and so I am on the sixth year. So I'm on the sixth film of the Leprechaun series, which is Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Um, it was okay. It was kind of cheesy. I mean, all these movies, the Leprechaun films are very, very cheesy. Um, it was just okay. I feel like if you don't take the Leprechaun films too seriously, like you can just kind of have a fun time with them. And yeah, it was all right. But I did take a short break from the horror films, and I did have one evening that I was able to watch another film, and I was really in the mood to watch a Criterion film, and so I watched the film My Life as a Dog, um, which I didn't know what to expect from this film at all, and honestly, it's just like about this like kid and just like his life and just some of the troubles that he like goes through, and just very well done, and I really did I really enjoyed it. I need to stop saying I really did enjoy it because it sounds like I really didn't enjoy it, but I really enjoyed that. Um, let's see. If you have heard of The Void, you should look up that movie. Yeah, I'm assuming if you haven't heard of the movie The Void, you should look up that movie. It's a movie no one talks about really. Good movie, 2016 horror. I Yeah, fantastic movie. I 100% agree. Um, it is very interesting. I would love to get this on Blu-ray. Um, this movie is fantastic. It's very like it feels like very I don't know. Like I mean, it's like cult stuff. I mean, there's cult stuff within it, and I know it's like people kind of say it's like very like Lovecraftian with some of the sequences. I remember seeing like the trailer for this movie a long time ago, or I guess not that long ago. I think it was 2016. Fantastic. I really enjoy the Void. Yeah, the people with the triangle like hoods. It's so creepy. Um, yeah, the movie that takes place in the hospital. Yes, it feels like Hellraiser. I would agree. Um, I would love a steelbook of that Void. Yeah. Um, let's see. It feels very John Carpenter or I would 100% agree that it feels very John Carpenter or Hellraiser. I feel like that is a movie that Vinegar Syndrome should pick up the rights and release like a 4K, like a nice 4K of that film, because I feel like it is. Um, I don't know. It's just. Um, what is your opinion on steelbooks? But I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I feel like The Void would be. I would love to see a 4K of that movie. And as far as steelbooks, I like them, but I don't necessarily like collect them, if that makes sense. Um, I understand like the collectability of them. My only issue. Let's see if I have one right here. This is a bad example. My only issue with a steelbook is when the inside art, like the inside of the steelbook, is just completely just bare. Because I feel like they have an opportunity to do some really cool artwork, and this one is Kill Bill Volume 2. Let's take this out. And this one has like some cool artwork of Tarantino kind of like directing the scene and stuff. So I love the outside. But the only downside with steelbooks is that, they get scratched up, or they can get scratched up. I know some people put them. I mean, this one's already a little scratched up on the sides. I know some people might put them in those protective like plastic sleeves, um, which I need to get some of those. But um, let's see. Yeah, I like steelbooks, but I don't necessarily go out of my way, if that makes sense, to get them. My only complaint of the Void is the parts with the fire where they burn the big bat or big baby. I understand fire is hard to do with low budget, but that part is the only effect that didn't work for me. Um, I'm scared to order steelbooks. They get smashed in the mail, and more than normal Blu-rays or 4Ks, they are very fragile. Yeah, I would agree. I don't think I've ever ordered a steelbook. I don't think. Um yeah, I don't really order steelbooks in the mail, but I do buy steelbooks like if I am like shopping or something, and like there's a steelbook that I mean, where was it? Great example recently was the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey steelbook from Walmart. That was one that I just picked up at Walmart, in person. So I tend to only get them if I'm in person, because I'm also scared at certain things. I am scared to order online, because it is scary. But um, so following my life as a dog, the next film that I watched was The Curse of the Fly. This is the last. Yeah, this is the last Fly movie that I have not seen, um, and I really, I mean, I like this series. I feel like it's a very interesting series, and I feel like at this point though in the series they didn't really know where to take the story anymore, um, and so they were pretty much just, I don't know, they were kind of, there's not like necessarily a like quote unquote like fly creature person. um, it just, oh, that's a lie. There are like kind of like human, like, I don't know, like mashups of other things. So um I liked this movie. I felt like it was pretty good. It was definitely not the strongest film of the series, but I would recommend checking all of those movies out because they're a lot of fun. um I've seen some steelbooks on or be dirt cheap, like $10. At that point I usually grab them. Yeah, let's see, I also like if I'm at like Goodwill or something, and like I see a steelbook for like a couple bucks, I'll either upgrade to the Blu-ray steelbook, or even if it's on DVD, honestly, I'll grab it. Just because it's like it's kind of fun to have a like that packaging for only a couple bucks. Um, let's see, and then Sue says, "I hate to win. Steelbooks look okay, and then you remove the back card, and there is a dent on it. Yeah, that is also a downside when, like, let's see, when they have like the back card of these things, and like there's just a scratch or something, or um yeah, I don't know. I like, even with this movie, like Les Mis, I have on the regular Blu-ray and the Steelbook, mainly because I got this Steelbook from Goodwill, and the Goodwill only had the Blu-ray disc. But I'm like, honestly, for $1, I will grab just the Steelbook. I don't necessarily need the DVD. But I also really like this Blu-ray. This was one of my earlier Blu-ray purchases, I guess. And I remember just really wanting it with the slipcover. I don't know why, but so I'm gonna just end up keeping both because why not? So let's see. I thought The Fly 2 was a lot better than people give it credit for. There's an instantly good face melting scene in The Fly 2. Or instantly, yeah. Yeah, I like I'm assuming the sequel to David Cronenberg's, like this one, correct? Um, yeah, I've seen this one, and I don't quite. I remember bits and pieces of it. Um, I need to sit down and rewatch it. It's been a while since I've watched the two like newer ones, um, which I think out of all of them, the David Cronenberg is probably my favorite, or the original Fly. Return of the Fly wasn't like too bad either, but honestly, just the Fly movies in general are just kind of like fun films. I feel like that whole series doesn't get that much attention to it, but okay. And then the next one I watched was a Dario Argento film, and that is Mother of Tears. So about 10 minutes into this film, I completely like remembered. I completely forgot this before I started watching it, that this is technically the third movie in a trilogy from Suspiria, Inferno, and Mother of Tears is the third film. And so I like have yet to watch the movie Inferno. And so when I started watching this, like, oh shoot, hopefully this isn't like a bunch of spoilers or whatever. And so I ended up just deciding to finish this, and it was actually pretty fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I feel like it was a solid film. I mean, Dario Argento is just a master of horror, and I don't know, I really enjoy his movies, and so I feel like he can't make a bad horror film. I take that back. That's a strong statement. I completely take that back. But he does make some solid films, and so I really do. I like um, the Suspiria type of movies that he's made. Do you guys remember that movie Splice? That came out in 2010. I remember it being pretty solid and in the wheelhouse of The Fly. Yes, I really like Splice. It's also a very like almost like body horror, like in a way, body horror, like disturbing esque type of film. But I really enjoy the Splice. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen it. I need to actually revisit it, but let's see if I have it's. Yeah, Splice, but um, I think it was, yeah, 2010. I really liked it. I maybe I should be watching that sometime soon because it's been a while since I've seen it. But um, let's see. I absolutely love Lucio Fulci, but I can't get into Dario Argento. He is very weird to me. Yeah, I feel like Dario, like some people really like Fulci, which I understand, and I I think I'm like flipped on that. Like I mean I like both. Don't get me wrong, but I just need to. I haven't like done like a deep dive into Fulci's movies. I've only seen like The Beyond and I'm trying to think what else of his I've seen. There's a few other ones that I'm blanking on right now that I've seen, but um, yeah. And then I remember liking. Let's see. I don't think I watched Splice, and then I remember liking it, but the last time I saw it was over a decade ago. Yes, same here. I would say it was probably about a decade ago since I've seen this one as well, which is wild. I feel like 2010 feels like it was like last year. Um, But the next one I watched, this was actually one that I really actually did enjoy. Let's see. For me, Fulci's Zombie, aka oh yeah, I've seen Zombie too. I don't that one escaped me. AKA Zombie Flesh Eaters is the all-time best zombie film. The way it incorporates voodoo and the modern world is so great for a dirt cheap, low budget. It's amazing. Um, let's see. Start with Zombie and watch House by the Cemetery. That's the best Fulci. Okay, yeah, I've also seen House by the Cemetery. Why am I blanking on all of Fulci's films? Um, yeah, I've seen Zombie, House by the Cemetery, and The Beyond, and I feel like I've seen more, but all of them are like escaping me right now. Um, and I'm sure if I actually like look through his filmography, I'm sure I could think of other ones that I've seen. Maybe I should do a Fulci like section within my director's movies because I do really like his films. Um, I think for me personally, I love Suspiria, and I love his use of color in that movie, and so like um, there's part of like that has carried over with like Argento that I really like. House by the Cemetery is the perfect haunted house mixed with zombie feel. The and mad scientist in the basement is great. Yes, yes, I remember. It's been a very long time since I've seen that movie too, and I believe Blue Underground has put out some like great 4Ks of all of like a bunch of Fulci films, which I would love to get. I have the Zombie 4K, but I don't have any of the other 4Ks. I think I have House by the Cemetery on DVD and The Beyond on DVD. I need to get the Grindhouse releasing of The Beyond, but um, the next movie that I watched, this is one that I actually really did enjoy, and that was the film Phantasm 2. Um, Honestly, solid film. I really liked it. Um, I feel like the Phantasm series doesn't really get talked about all that much. I feel like people know about it, but they don't really talk about it. Um, and I just need to. I'm excited to actually work my way through the whole series because I now I have the box set to actually watch. So um, yeah, I liked it. It was a little cheesy at times. I mean, there's a few situations that I was just like, I mean, I don't know. It did expand a little bit on the like the story of the tall man and stuff like that, and I feel like it was interesting, and so yeah, I really enjoyed it. But the next one, this is actually one that was on my list, but unfortunately, this is the only movie that I have not watched in this stack, at least this season. That is Hellraiser Inferno. I started watching it, I got about 10 minutes into it, and then life happened, and I just never got around to actually finishing this movie. I've seen it before, a long time ago, but for what I can remember, it's like a detective kind of situation, and he starts trying to solve like a like mystery, and yeah, I remember I liked parts of this movie, but not the movie as like a whole. Um, and like I keep telling myself like, oh, if I have extra time, I'll be able to check that out, and so which is just hasn't happened yet, um, which is kind of unfortunate, but yeah, I feel like I'm not missing out too much on rewatching Hellraiser films because I feel like really the first three are fun, and then beyond that they kind of lose me a little bit. Except the newer one that was off Netflix or Hulu, Netflix. I think it was on Netflix. Um, the that newer one was actually I really enjoyed, but yeah, there was a big quality drop off in the Hellraiser movies after Hellraiser 4. Yeah, I can never remember Hellraiser 4. I know he goes to space question mark, I think. And I remember like in having fun with it. I remember I really liked Hellraiser 1, 2 and 3, and then at 4 I can never remember, and then I feel like after that like there's, Inferno, Hell what's it called now? Hellseeker, Hell or Deader, and Hell World, and then there's like Revelations, I think, and then there is Judgment. Um, but yeah, I would agree. I feel like they almost became like made on or what's it called, like made for how was it? what's the word I'm looking for? Like basically just made just to be put on the disc and that's it. Like no theatrical run whatsoever. Um, let's see. The theory is that they never made any actual Hellraiser movies after four. It was always a random horror movie that they had a pinhead scenes inserted to keep the rights to Hellraiser alive. That makes sense. That would honestly make a ton of sense because from what I remember off of this movie, somebody gets murdered and then they're trying to the detectives kind of trying to solve the mystery and like it doesn't feel like it was written as a Hellraiser film. Um, but yeah, I would agree with that theory. That makes sense to me. Um, but speaking of films that are not necessarily great, I watched Freddy's Dead or Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare or Nightmare on Elm Street 6. Um, yeah, this is pretty rough. It's been a few years since I've seen this film, and this got into the territory of like goofy almost for me. It felt very like cheesy at times. There's some great like sequences of like the guy with like the hearing aid thing, and like his claws on the chalkboard. But there's a few sequences that are pretty like cheesy in my opinion. I know they're trying to explain a little bit about why Freddy is able to do what he does, and yeah, I thought it was cheesy, but especially the fact that like, oh, that's like his daughter or whatever, and it just, I don't know, it felt a little cheesy to me, but it was also a fun time. I feel like with the right group of people, like that movie is just, I don't know, it's fun. Um, the next one I watched, this is a movie that semi recently got a 4K box set released of it of the whole of all four of the films. I only have the first two, but I watched the film House. This also includes House 2, but I only watched the first one this time around. And maybe next Halloween I'll watch the second one, but not what I was expecting. Honestly, it was a I was expecting more of like I guess more of a haunted house type of film. There was some interesting things to like that went along with that of just these like creatures, I guess, were kind of like showed up at this house only at certain times, and it's like almost there was like portals to like a different dimension that this guy was in, and I don't know, it was fun. I liked it. I can't say all that much. It was a good time. Um, but the next one I watched, this is was also a good time. Was the film Them. So this is like giant killer ants, and it's from 1954. So it's in black and white, and it has that like black and white creature feature like aesthetic as so many other films from this era like were. You could argue and say that was like it's more of a sci-fi film, I guess. You could probably put it under sci-fi over horror. I have it in my horror section, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I feel like it was a lot of fun, and would highly recommend. But a movie that wasn't necessarily fun to watch was my next one, and that was The Killing of a Sacred Deer. This was a lot. This was a movie that was just a lot to take in, and um, I don't know. It just all of the dialogue throughout this whole movie felt very like stiff, and I think that was on purpose. But it all felt like not how people would like not how like people would actually talk. Let's see. Someone said, "Oh man, I really enjoyed that movie." I'm assuming Killing of a Sacred Deer. I'm assuming is what you're talking about. Um, but this is one that like the dialogue felt very like stiff, which I think is um yeah, so that is the way Yorgos, I think that's how you say his name, style his movies. Okay, yeah. This is my first of his movies. I know he did what is the other movies that he did? Um he did a couple other ones, or The Lobster, and there was one other one that I know of at least. I've not seen The Lobster. So this is my first experience of this particular director. Um, and I mean I liked it, but it's definitely one that is just it's a lot to take in. And yeah, I probably won't be revisiting it anytime soon. I feel like there might be some like things if you watch it again, you might pick up on more, but um, yeah, I mean, it was well done. I should say that. And the next one I watched, which was not one that's necessarily well done, one that I honestly, I mean, this was just okay to me. Um, and this is the movie The Fear Halloween Night. Um, and so I've seen the movie The Fear, and so that was the first movie. And then this is the sequel. Um, these movies are so cheesy. They're like a rough watch, but like not in the sense of like hard to get through. I mean, they are hard to get through, but not like because it's scary or anything. I feel like they're hard to get through because of the quality of film. Um, yeah, I feel like there's some cool ideas within the film, but I just feel like the characters just make a lot of weird choices that don't make sense within the context of the movie. Like they find one of their friends who has been recently murdered, and none of them scream, none of them really even react to the situation. They just kind of like look at her and be like, "Oh, we have to get out of here," and it just I don't know. It just feels very like they're not even. I don't know. I feel like everyone in the movie isn't even an actor necessarily. Obviously, I know they're actors, but like I just feel like they're you know trying to be actors, if that makes sense. A movie with actually good acting is the next one that I watched, and that is the movie Funny Games. So this is from 1997. This is a German film, so this is in the Criterion Collection. Um, yeah, if you've seen this movie, this one is a lot too. This one will actually. I have to confess that I watched this in 2 nights. So I watched this in. I broke it up. So I watched the first half on one night and then the second half on another because I'm like I just need to mentally step away from this movie because it's a lot to take in. Um, and I yeah. It just I think the most unsettling part of the whole movie is just how they break the fourth wall a couple times in the movie, just staring directly down the camera and just like the villains of the film. And so yeah, it's very interesting, it's very effective, and yeah I I don't know, I probably won't be revisiting the movie Funny Games anytime soon. Let's see, I had a couple comments here. Let's see, The Lobster, The Favorites, and Dogtooth are some of his others. If you didn't like the style killing of sacred deer, then you may not like The Favorites. It is very different wide angle lenses. I believe I have actually right here. Yeah, yeah, I have The Favorite. This is in a makeshift. It's the actual disc, but it is in a like it's in a. This is a family video case, and so this is actually like printed artwork. Um, but I feel like this is one that I would actually really like to watch. I just haven't got around to checking it out. Um, but what is on your Christmas list that is movies or movie related? Ooh, that is a good question. Obviously, Criterion. I'm always going to have Criterion on my Christmas wish list. Trying to think. I'm going to have to think about that. I'll probably closer to Christmas. I might be posting or might be talking about like. I think you said Christmas, right? Let me make sure you said that. Yeah. I'll probably be talking more about what is on my list, what I'm going to try to get, and stuff like that. And so stay tuned, I guess, for that question to be answered because I haven't thought about it too much. Because I've been so busy that I can't even, um, you know, unfortunately, I can't think about that right now. But stay tuned because I'll get around to looking into what is on my Christmas wish list. But Sue said, "Funny Games was definitely or an unsettling movie. Yeah, it is. It's a lot, and I feel like, even being like married and just, you know, putting myself in that situation and like what I would do. It's just like a lot to just think about, and but it's very effective, and I really want to see because that same director, if I'm not mistaken, made a like an American remake of his own movie, and so I'm curious on the differences between the two. Um, but let's see, my last pickup was the Mist 4K. Yeah, I wanted to get that. There's a lot of little things like the Hellraiser box set too on 4K from Arrow Video. I wanted to get that, but unfortunately, just you know, um, I don't know. It's like everything's so expensive right now. It just makes everything hard. But the Mist 4K, I feel like that would look awesome. Let's see, and then I really want a Blu-ray release of um, Man Thing. That was the best Marvel. Um, let's see, before Marvel movies were a thing, and that movie is so some good quality horror. I've never heard of that. Is Man Thing? Is that? I've never heard of. I'm gonna have to look into that. Let's see. Jim says recently acquired Repo Man Criterion and looking to add Videodrome and After Hours 4K Criterion for Christmas. Um, I recently watched After Hours on the 4K from Criterion. It looks fantastic. I would highly recommend it. It was a great transfer. And I have not. I need to get Videodrome. The only thing I will say about Videodrome with the Criterion, which so I've been putting off buying the Blu-ray for Videodrome. I know the quality is better than DVD. However, the packaging for this, I feel like the beta tape of the disc like things or the the casing for the actual movies, I feel like it fits better on in a DVD case, and so I've always put off buying the Blu-ray because I feel like it's too thin compared to this like nice like thicker like DVD set. But I probably will be buying the 4K eventually, and then I might keep this too just because of, you know, I don't know. I love the packaging to this. Um, let's see. I picked up the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4K from Second Sight. Going to watch it tonight. That is awesome. That is highly on my list. That's very high on my list, I should say. Um, I would love to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on 4K from Second Sight. Same thing with Dawn of the. Oh, I just kicked the tripod. Same thing with Dawn of the Dead. I feel like the Second Sight versions of those movies, they just look fantastic, and so um, let me know. I guess in I don't know comments or in the next live stream what you think of um, the transfer of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Man Thing was 2005. It's kind of like Swamp Thing, but a lot more brutal and a lot more horror. It was just uh, straight up horror. It was just a straight up horror movie. It had Sid Huggins and some other gems. Okay, sweet. I'll have to look into it. Um, yeah, the DVD packaging for Videodrome is way cooler to look at. I agree. Yeah, it is. I love it. And then the director of Man Thing did Lawnmower Man, the Dead Pits, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Okay, gotcha. Um, there, there's no Blu-ray releases, but you can find a DVD of it. Okay, yeah, I'll have to check it out. That sounds interesting. But the last movie that I'll talk about tonight, and then I guess we could just jump into talking movies. Um, this was last night's movie, and so this was the remake of The Omen. So this was from 2006. Yeah, not a huge fan of this movie. I feel like I don't know this. I definitely think the original is way superior to this movie. Um, I feel like this movie kind of took it in a different direction and kind of like did this almost like side quest of mystery behind it. Kind of leaving like Damien and all of the other characters like kind of just like off to the side while like the dad kind of went on the side quest of of like trying to figure out if this is an actual thing or not. Um, which I liked in theory. I think it was like an interesting, kind of like an interesting concept. It's been several years since I've seen the original Omen, so I don't remember it too well, but I do remember liking it. Um, and I feel like there was a few like staples of like the nanny scene, or the when he's on his scooter or whatever in the hallway scene. Um, obviously those carried over from the original to the remake, but overall, I thought it was just okay. Probably not the worst in the series, but like definitely not the best. Um, so I mean, overall, I'm not like a huge Omen fan. I guess yeah, um, but I can appreciate them. So that is everything that I watched over the last couple of weeks. I guess it was a lot, but I'm excited because I'm down to 3 more movies for the month of October, and so I will be watch tonight. I'll be watching Rec 3, which is I think Rec 3 Genesis, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's. Um, yeah, Genesis. It's within this series of films. So I'm very curious. I have yet to see it, and so excited to check that out. That was a lot. I am yeah, I need a drink. But what are you guys watching? What are some things that you've been checking out in October? Because I know obviously Halloween is in a couple of days. Um, I'm assuming people are watching things. Let's see, what are you drinking? I am drinking a cup of coffee. I don't know if you can see it, and I'm not going to try to spill it over the video, but it's a cup of coffee. Um, it's fantastic. It's very fitting because, as I said earlier in the live stream, that um, it is a kind of like a rainy day in Ohio, and so um, it's very, I don't know, it fits so nicely. It's just such a nice time just to have a cup of coffee in the evening when it's all dreary outside. But have you watched the new sequel to The Exorcist? I heard it was quite poor in comparison and has made film critics dislike the original classic for some reason. I have not seen The Exorcist Believer, but I would like to. I've also heard not great things about it. I've heard that people didn't. I've heard like overall, I heard that it was not a great film. Um, but I've heard that about people. Um, I've also heard people talk about how it's like people don't like the original because of this movie, and I don't understand that either. Um, I've even like I feel like I talked to somebody and they said that they liked this one more than the original, which I'm just like, okay, you can have your opinion about things. I'm not gonna stand in the way of that, but um, yeah, I'm definitely like putting it off watching it because I've not heard super great things um, about it. Let's see what else people have said. Let's see. I've been on a Godzilla rush, watching all kinds of Godzilla movies, hyped for Godzilla minus one. What is Godzilla minus one? Is that a new movie? I've not heard of that. I love every Godzilla except the 1998 Abomination. I yeah, I want to watch more Godzilla. I don't know if you can see. I have the Godzilla Criterion right there. The Criterion box set of like the Showa era, and I've like yet to really like dive into that set. Mainly because Godzilla to me, I like Godzilla, but it's not like I would. Maybe I should do sometime in the next few months. Maybe I'll do like a month of just Godzilla and just be watching all of the different movies, and maybe I'll do like a ranking or something. Because yeah, I don't know. I also have like the Gamera set, and I love all of those like types of films, but I just need to really do a like deep dive into all of them. Um, I saw Killers of the Flower Moon, Slumber Party Massacre 2, Grandmother's House, and some others. I'm drinking a Ballast Points. Okay. Um, yeah, so if I really want to see Killers of the Flower Moon. Um, I've not seen Slumber Party Massacre 2 and Grandmother's House. I'm assuming Grandmother's house. Why does that sound? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The I feel like, do I have that movie? I feel like I should have that movie. I'm assuming like the comedy one, right? Yeah, I might have it. It might be over there somewhere, but um, I would avoid it. It is really bad. I'm assuming The Exorcist. Yeah, I'm really in no hurry to go see it, but hot take: Exorcist 3 is the best Exorcist movie. That is a hot take, but I will say I really like The Exorcist 3. I feel like that is a underrated classic. Um, I really, I mean that the one I will say, like, there is one sequence which it's with the hallway scissor scene or whatever. Um, every single time I watch that movie, it gets me, and it's fantastic. I think it's like just like such a perfect like scare. But um, let's see, I saw Sorority House Massacre, and I'm going to watch Five Nights at Freddy's tomorrow. So like Five Nights at Freddy's, I know it's like the based off the video game, I think, or I think it was a kids game or something. Or maybe it wasn't a kids game. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Um, but wasn't there was definitely a Five Nights at Freddy's like movie already. That was the Nicolas Cage movie. Um, yeah, um I yeah. I never really got into I guess I'm curious with Five Nights at Freddy's. I didn't really like I have yet to really watch any of the movies, or I know the basic structure of the movie, but the new one actually seems fairly interesting. Um for not really being a like a fan of that series myself, at least. Godzilla minus one is a new Japanese Godzilla hits, or is it is yep. Godzilla minus one is new Japanese Godzilla. Hits theaters like right now. Okay, it sounds interesting. I'll have to look that up after this. No, watch Exorcist 3. It's a legit good movie. Okay, I feel like you're talking to somebody else with that. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that I should eventually watch the sequels to Godzilla, or not Godzilla, Exorcist. Yep, Exorcist 3. If you've not watched any of the Exorcist sequels, I would say skip the second one. Don't need to watch it. Third one, solid. Beyond that, they're iffy. Because they're Exorcist of Emily Rose and Exorcist of um, or there's Dominion. Dominion, is that why am I? Is that the right one? Um, there is the beginning. That's what I'm thinking of. Um, yeah, there's a few Exorcist movies that I feel like you could, like, I don't know, you could have fun with. Um, I watched Brain Dead. Will let's see, Will Bill Paxton Bill. Let's see. Oh wait, Pullman. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Very dreamlike, very fun film. A lot of like what's not good. Um, Vinegar Syndrome released it. I think it was a '90s. It was a '90s kids horror. I'm so lost. I'm just gonna start here. Hello, everybody. Hello, Bobby. Welcome to the live stream. Sorry, I'm a little lost in uh the chat right now, so I'm just trying to get caught up. Um, Five Nights at Freddy's, I think, is a very kids movie. Yeah, the Nicolas Cage one was Willy's Wonderland. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Willy's Wonderland, not Five Nights at Freddy's. I get those mixed up, but we also get a Godzilla X Kong Part 2. It looks very interesting. Me and my 16-year-old son enjoyed Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay. But The Exorcist 2 has awesome ass trailer. I will agree, yes, it does. If you like Exorcist movies, maybe watch The Prophecy. I like it as a religious horror movie with Christopher Walken. Um, wow, you guys are talking a lot here. Yeah, I actually I feel like The Prophecy, I need to revisit all of them. I recently watched the third one. Um, yeah, but I first one felt a little dry to me, but that was also several years ago, and maybe I wasn't paying attention to it, but Evil Dead Rise is a great movie. That was my very first Evil Dead movie I've ever watched. Um, Definitely, if you liked Evil Dead Rise, definitely go check out the original ones. It's going to be a different feeling than Evil Dead Rise, but I don't know. I feel like Evil Dead 1 and 2 are very different films. Um, the remake of Evil Dead, I will say, actually, I really enjoy. Not like my favorite. I guess if you really liked Evil Dead Rise, go watch the remake of Evil Dead, and if you like that, then go watch Evil Dead 1 and 2, and then 3, or Army of Darkness. And if you really don't like all that, then go watch the Ash versus the Evil Dead. I feel like you would enjoy. I feel like that series is a solid series that you know um, more people should talk about. I think I enjoyed the beginning better than Dominion. Yeah, the Exorcist, which it's funny because those two movies are pretty much like the same story. Um, I feel like it was kind of like one of those situations where it's kind of like Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down, pretty much the exact same story. Came out similar, like came out right around the same time, and I'm like, how does this happen in the film industry? Um, there's been a few examples of that where it's like I don't know, like a movie will come out just like they're pretty much the exact same movie, and so um and then Godzilla X Kong 2 is gonna have 3 new monsters. Apparently, should be fun. I had fun with the other Godzilla versus Kong movie. I feel like it was just, I mean, it's not trying to be like high arts or anything. It just big monsters fighting, and um I don't know. I think that's like, if that sounds fun, like definitely check those movies out because there's I don't know, they're fun. But yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I really want to go see Killers of the Flower Moon in theaters. I know somebody mentioned that a little bit ago in one of the comments, and I want to like. I feel like that's one that I really want to experience in a theater. Um, it's kind of like Oppenheimer. I saw that in the theater, and that was just like a solid, um, just like a solid experience in theaters. But I recently found you, and I enjoy your content. Thank you so much, Stephen. I appreciate that. I enjoy making it. It's become kind of like a fun side thing, I guess. Um, yeah, I enjoy talking about movies. Like I have like, I don't know if you're curious or not, but I have like a whole like room tour video where I go over the whole movie room on my channel, and I don't know. I love like the history of all of the different like the different formats and whatnot. It's so fun, and I love talking to you guys about movies. I feel like it's such a fun community to like to talk with, and just everyone has like different opinions, and it's so fun. But I think we need a Pumpkinhead versus Rawhead Rex versus movie. So, fun story. I've not seen, it's not really a story, but I've not seen either of those movies. I've not seen Pumpkinhead, and I have not seen Rawhead Rex. I have, I'm assuming, I'm assuming you're talking about this Rawhead Rex. I could be, let's see, let me make sure you said Rawhead Rex. Yeah. Um, I know. I need to see Pumpkinhead, and I also need to see this, but I just haven't gotten around to it. So maybe I'll watch it upcoming here soon, but that sounds pretty dope. Let's see. Okay, watch them right away. Yes, Pumpkinhead is a fun movie. Um let's see. Pumpkinhead, the original, is a fantastic movie. I believe I have it. Yes. So I actually have the first 2 films. Um Yeah, I need to watch these movies. They've been on my radar for a while, and I just need to get around to watching them. Um, so I don't know. Maybe sometime in the future, or like the near future, I'll sit down and actually try to check these out. But um, what else are you guys watching for the month of October? Sorry, I sat down. I feel like now I'm short compared to something just fell. And something's moving. So I'm just going to do one of these. There we go. Just ignore that problem right now because I don't have the capability of dealing with that right now. But Stan Winston did Pumpkinhead original. The sequels didn't have Stan Winston, aka the effects guy from Aliens. Okay, yeah, yeah. Talk to Me was a pleasant surprise. Have you seen it? I have not seen Talk to Me, but it is very high on my list actually to check out. Um, I really want to check it out, but um, let's see. I'm thinking of watching Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Just to subscribe to Arrow. Let's see, to Arrow Player. Yeah, actually, I have Bird with the Crystal Plumage. I have that on Blu-ray. I saw that a while ago, but I need to rewatch it soon. I'm watching Trick or Treat on Halloween. Nice. I'm assuming they like the anthology one, which is also just a fantastic film. But let's see. Just watched It Follows on one of my all-time favorites. Yeah, It Follows is fantastic. And actually, I just watched a recent video kind of talking about the kind of like the director wanted It Follows to feel like a dream. So he kind of made it to be like, you know, like there are cars that are modern, but then there's also cars that are older, and like mixed in with that, people use kind of technology that is futuristic, but then everyone's watching like old like tube TVs, and it like has this weird feeling to it that like doesn't fully make sense. But I think that's like kind of the point um, of the movie. I think it's very fascinating. But yeah, so I haven't seen It Follows yet. I need to. Yeah, It Follows is fantastic. I really enjoy that movie. But um, the subtleties are what makes it so good. It's like an alternate timeline that's unsettling. Yeah, it's there's a couple sequences in that movie that I really enjoy. I mean, overall, I really like that movie. But um, yeah, so let's see. I will probably be wrapping this up soon-ish. I've been talking for 63 minutes. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think next Sunday. I'm trying to think when that is. Where do the movies you watch lately fall in the three des Oh, okay, that's a good question. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Designated or designations you made in horror. Ooh, that is a fantastic question. So, a few live stream. I guess it was last. Was it last? Maybe it might have been a live stream before last, where I talked about how there's like kind of three different categories of horror that I kind of like put into a three different categories that I put into place, where a movie could be like like there's bad where it's just like not enjoyable, where it's just kind of like a like I guess I'll give examples here. This would be in that category of bad, where it's just a movie that I really just didn't really enjoy really any aspects of it. I mean, the effects were okay. I just feel like it wasn't like fun bad. Um, I guess an example of the second category where it's like fun bad would be um, like Leprechaun 2, where it's like it's cheesy, but it's like fun to watch. It's like an enjoyable like time with like the right group of people you can kind of get like together and just overall just like have a good time. And then there is the good category where it's just movies that are just simply fantastic. And that would be like The Frighteners for me, where it'd just be a overall just a really like solid film that I would just enjoy. And it's like you don't have to be with the right group of people or anything. But yeah, I'd say like the hardest category to decide on is that like bad category. Because it's like if the movie was genuinely bad, it's just like I guess this would also probably fall into that bad category where it was just kind of like it wasn't much of an enjoyable experience. This probably would fall into the middle category for me where it was it was like it wasn't good, but there's aspects that I could appreciate about it. And this would fall into that third category where it was fantastic and it was just like a lot to take in, but it was really good. Um so I don't want to go through the entire stack, I guess. I'd say third category, third category, um, probably second category, third category, third category. I don't remember this movie, and I didn't watch it this season, so I can't say too much. Middle category where it's like bad, but there's elements that you can still have fun with. Um, Maybe the middle category, either the middle or the third for this. Um, I liked it, but there was definitely cheesy parts of it. Third category and third category. So sorry if that was a really quick rundown, but um, that's kind of where I would say I would have to like maybe if I sat down and like thought about it, but The Boogeyman was a very effective and quite scary monster gore film worth watching. Interesting. I don't know if I've seen. Oh, you're talking about the I'm assuming the newer Boogeyman movie, the one that came out like it's like produced by Stephen King or something. I think it's produced by or direct. I don't know. He's involved somehow, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken on that, but and love the Frighteners. Yeah, Frighteners was fantastic. And I kind of wish I checked it out sooner, but so yeah, I'm probably gonna wrap this up. Just because of I have a lot of other little things I still need to really try to get done. I'm trying to I have a few other little like video things planned, and so I'm trying to get those all sorted out. But I have another movie question like this. Do you think the uh, intention matters when you decide if a movie is good or what is good? For example, The Room. That's a hard question. I would say yes and no. Like because it's like with The Room, it's just like technically speaking, it should have been a good movie, and I'm meaning that with like the people behind it were I mean, at least Tommy Wiseau was super passionate about the story he was trying to tell. Um, he had a huge budget, had a ton of money like for the film. He had great cameras and all that thing, like all these things. So on a technical aspect, The Room should have been a great movie. However, acting wise, it kind of fell apart. I think I don't know. Because it's like there's I don't know. I don't know. That's a great question that I don't quite know the answer to. Um, because it's like you could have people that are super passionate about telling a story, but the story itself is not necessarily worth telling. Um, So I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, I don't have an answer for that. But um, I will probably be doing a live stream. I'm trying to think what's going on this next week of my life. Um, keep up on my Instagram. That's where I'll be posting if I'm going to be doing a live stream or if it's going to have to get pushed back or, how all that's going to work. This month as well, like from similar to October, this month also has a lot of just a lot of things going on. And so I might have to kind of shift around when I do these live streams. Um, let's see. Have you seen 2019's Trick or or not Trick or Treat? 2019 Trick, fun slasher. I have not, but I will have to look into that. I mainly consider the script and the acting. After that, the lighting and how it is filmed when I fall in love with a film. Um, yeah, me too. I would say like the biggest thing that I look for, if the story itself is just not an interesting story, then it's like it's very hard to fall in love with a film. Um, but like I don't know. I feel like bad acting is hard to look past. And like a bad script is also hard to look past. Um, but I mean, I don't know. There's definitely been like low budget films that I really like. And then there's been like high budget films that like I don't really enjoy. So I would say it really just comes down to the story. But what was I saying? Oh, the live streams. Yes. The over the next couple of weeks, things might have to shift around, and I guess keep updated on my Instagram. That's where I'll be posting, about all my latest like things that I'll be doing. So I will be I don't know if I'll be able to do Sunday night live streams all of next month. Definitely sometimes next month I'll be able to do that, but um yeah, I will trying to think if there's anything else that I really wanted to talk about. If I don't jump on, I might do a surprise live stream. Who knows? So keep an eye out for those. I guess I will be posting. I'll try to do like 24 hours in advance over on Instagram. So don't follow me on Instagram. I guess if you want to, you can always do that just to keep up with like what this I guess what the videos for this channel will look like. Um, so one last comment. There's been low budget films that I love. Same here. I don't think budget dictates quality. I think sometimes it could actually dictate the opposite. So, um, yeah. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, this next month of November, since my schedule is kind of going to be all over the place, I might just be doing one video a week instead of posting twice a week. I might knock it down to one video just for a little bit. So in the month of December, it might go back up to two videos, but as far as the first few weeks of November, I might just knock it down to one. Just with scheduling things, I just feel like it is. I don't know. It just feels like I don't have time, which is unfortunate because I love making this stuff. But like I said, wedding world is just crazy, crazy busy for the month of October and November, and so I'm trying to balance everything out. But I will keep everybody posted on that too. So I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch the videos and even the people jumping on here and just talking. I appreciate everybody talking and stuff. So keep an eye out though, because like I said, there might be a surprise live stream. Who knows? Maybe soon, maybe not. Um, we'll see. So. But if I don't talk to any of you guys between now and Halloween, I hope everybody has a fantastic Halloween. I hope everyone's being safe out there. I know people can get crazy around Halloween, so just be safe. Enjoy some great horror films. I feel like there's just so much great stuff out there to watch. Um, yeah, and if nobody else has any last comments, I will leave you guys and let you guys get back to your Sunday evenings. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna go watch some great horror films as well. So um, let's see. Um, have a good night. Yes. So yeah, it is 8:16. So I'm gonna jump off here, but have a good night, guys. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for sticking with all of this, like all these different little changes on the channel. Um, Hopefully in a couple, you know, maybe after wedding season, things slow down a bit with that. I will get back into like a more normal posting schedule. So, but stay tuned. There might be a Halloween video coming up. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. You have to check it out on Halloween. So, yes. So thank you guys and have a good night. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. Bye.